guys. So let's do a hashtag, shall we?
Are you scared?
So, since I'm trying to catch up on everything, and all of the hashtags and get different things done that I wanted to get done, because of it being spooky season, I'm trying to get these cards, because that's part of the hashtag. Uh, anyway, as I'm trying to get organized, so Selena at Essence of the Moon and Rochelle at Amethyst Ascension had came come up with a hashtag called the Witch in Me, and I was, of course, one since, yeah, sorry, I've been cleaning, so I am just not at my best. So then I'm trying to get organized here because I thought I was, and apparently I'm not. So anyway, as always. Anyway, um, I wanted to do the hashtag. Um, Editing videos is a bit taxing lately, so I wanted to do the hashtag. Uh, and I will get the live that it was done with because I can't find the videos to it. Um, but anyway, here we go. What was the first witch you recognized in yourself? Robin. There was a TV series in the 80s. It was called Robin of Sherwood, and it came from Robin Hood and the Sorcerer. But there were quite a few witches within the series. I think her name was Janet. Was in one episode. There were quite a few witches in there. It's like the ultimate pagan type of series, if that's your thing. I'm more of a person who was into medieval times and Robin Hood and all that kind of thing. So, and the other one would be Ariel, Princess Ariel. If you um, are a Gen Xer and saw Thundar the Barbarian, when you know, you know. Um, so there's that. How were witches in your ancestry culture persecuted, honored, uh, or hidden? I couldn't get the print out of the question, so I just kind of paraphrased. Well, on my mother's side, my 5, 6 time grandparents were Irish, so um, I'm sure coming from that part of Ireland, there was a lot of persecution when it came to pagans. Um, in Ireland over the years. And then, of course, with them being very devout Catholic, um, and going through all of that. So um, I'm I've gotten as far as ancestry here, but as far as anything in Ireland, I'm kind of at a loss. Um, I do know that I come from a line of granny witches uh, on my father's side, living in Appalachia and that part of the country. Uh, I I know that there's some Native American and uh, coming from the Tennessee part. So, and from what my aunt had said on my mom's side, that there would also be Crow, the Crow tribe. So, I'm sure, uh, coming from that part, that's probably why I uh, do Appalachian Conjure. Do you believe in past life or a witch? Uh, if so, which what which what I don't have my glasses. Which so what would you call as a witch? If so, what you okay. So I've never had a past life reading per se. I don't think I'm adept enough to do a past life reading, although I'm really drawn to um, medieval times, um, having where I feel like things are really familiar. I don't know. I've been told. Well, I'm not going to say it was necessarily a past life reading, but um, ancestors had came to a reader and said that I had in my ancestry way back that there was communication with spirits and with the dead. Um, and one lady had come to the reader. That's one thing. Um, because there are things that are so familiar to me, and I'm still trying to research this and find this out, but I probably never will. Um, probably never will, but that's okay. I'd like to get a past life reading and try to figure out some things. Because there's things that I just seem really familiar, and I'm just not. I don't know if I'm just not strong enough, not connected enough to to do that. I'm not sure. Number four. What tools, rituals, herbs feel like home to you? In your craft. Uh, Runes. My tarot cards. Oddly enough, when I first started, I wasn't really into tarot. I was more into runes. Um, so more ancient bone reading and things like. I can't charm cast or bone read. I'd like to expand and start doing that. Um, I'm more into the more ancient ways of doing things, but tarot's gonna work. um, so yes, and my pendulum, my candles, um, doing ritual at Samhain feels like home to me. Um, Being in nature, um, those are some of the things. Have you ever been gate kept? How did you respond? Oh boy. Uh, so, oh, gatekeeping. Um, there was a lady on TikTok that was very gatekeepy about practices and telling people what to do with their practice. And I had a conversation because I have to adapt things because of my sight. Um, and how I use a pendulum because of that was a problem. With her, um, she was a bit gatekeepy. Gatekeeping is really an issue over there on TikTok, and it's starting to become a problem over here. I think we've talked about that before. I think a lot of that has to do with when someone is getting triggered because they're not in control, and they have to be in control. And when they're not in control, they can't control the people around them or the people in their community. That tends to um, bother people. I do think that the more recent thing is that someone had said that if you're not posting spells and such, um, that you have to do it, because if you don't, then you're a fan of witchcraft and not an actual witch, even though maybe some people don't feel comfortable putting spells, especially in the times that we're in on YouTube, or they So I don't know. Personally, I'm a fan of the witch's pyramid, but you have to. You're a fan. You're not a witch. You're just a fan of witchcraft. If you're not putting spells on here, and the whole thing with being political, that you have to be loud and proud about your politics. The thing of it is that, like, when it came to the Underground Railroad and the Holocaust, people that were loud and proud, how effective would the Jewish people that were saved, or the people of marginalized communities in Germany, because they didn't just go after Jewish people, or if people, the people that, if you're loud and proud, how do you think successful? I mean, people's lives would not have been saved if people weren't resisting in silence, and that we have to be political. Um, I may be political on other platforms. I'm just not political here. Um, and to be honest, I I am not one that's going to sit by while, especially myself being in a marginalized community, being a disabled, pagan, and a woman. Um, am not going to sit by while marginalized communities in this country are currently attacked. Um, because some people are plants, in order to out, because now we're being told what religion we can and can't practice in this country anymore, and being controlled and told what we can and can't do while we scream about freedom. But anyway, um, that's just, I'm not going to be silent when people are bullied and threatened, especially people that can't defend themselves. I never stood up for this Project 2025 or Esther or any of that stuff. And I cannot, when it comes to bullying, and I can't deal with people that bully. So I'm going to stand up for those that can't stand up for themselves. If that makes me political, I guess that makes me political. Um, but again, people that resist in silence are more effective, especially in the times that we're in. So, um, number 5. Uh, were you? Oh, I'm sorry. Number 6. What archetype appeals to you? I'm more. I've been told that I would be an effective death witch because of the deities that I work with, being Santa Muerte and Hecate. I hate that term. The deities I'm involved with, the deities that speak to me. I've been told I'm dark, and I guess maybe I am dark. Um, um, so, um, I was a CNA. I did work at nursing homes, um, and had experiences. A call light went off and went to the room, and the person, one guy had passed away, and the other guy couldn't get up to hit a call light if he wanted to. So seen a lot of things, um, in my life that you couldn't explain. So, and death is just a part of life, and it's one of the many cycles that we go through, especially as women. Um, so, um, the I try to keep it in balance, but it doesn't always work that way. So, but yeah, the medieval times and things that are old and ancient just really appeal to me. Um, so, um, I, I, I don't, I'm more, I try to be, traditional, but there's a time and a place for everything. Writing my last on a candle and putting on some cleansing herbs. It never hurt anybody. Number 7, how do you balance fear, persecution, judgment, um, all you have with, okay, judgment, so, and empowering, oh, how do you practice all of those things and empowering yourself? I have been told on panels that I should be held down and essayed and burned and unalived because I'm not Christian. Um, I've shown those. Um, Spiritual abuse uh, is another thing. Um, how do I empower myself? I stay to myself. Um, I am very selective about what people are around me. Um, I don't even think, given all of the advocacy that I've done in the last few years, I don't like a lot of people. I really don't. Um, I hate the flip flopping and the hypocrisy when you try to humanize and the way people act and and all of this type of thing, and being told what I can and can't practice, while again screaming about freedom while you're told what religion you can be a part of, or the misinformation because people just want to go by what they're told instead of looking things up on Google or reading a book. Well, so and so told me. There was a lady I used to mod for, and it was like the same questions every single freaking day because people can't tell the difference between Hollywood and real life. And of course, you have people that don't want to use logic and critical thinking. You know, Pastor says this, so that's the truth. Um, I don't necessarily consider it empowerment. I just stay away from people. I just, you know, I just stay away from people. I'm not fighting these idiots anymore. I'm just not. I take that back. I'm being a collector of artifacts, so to speak, that could really get people 10 or 15 years down the road. Number 8. Okay. Uh, let's see. Terror. Um, the terror that revealed myself. Terror that revealed itself in my magical practice. Uh, let's see. I was doing something because the neighbors, and it basically blew out of control where it wasn't just the neighbors fighting, it was the kids fighting, it was their friends fighting with their girlfriend. Um, so that happened. I was doing a spell, and the candle, for no reason, the whole candle started shaking. Um, Never had that happen before. Uh, that kind of freaked me out a little bit. Um, um, we were doing something with tarot, and the candle went completely blue, and the pull around the candle was a heart. When my sister and I were doing some things, and the doorbell rang, and there was nobody out there. So, those are some examples of that. I had a few incidences um, where we had things happen in the house that you just kind of, you know, it bugged you when you were younger, but it doesn't bother you now. I mean, um, you look back on it because I didn't know then I could do things now. So, there's my answer to that. Number 9. Um, So this is number 9 is what tarot or oracle cards that appeal to you. So this is Justice, and these are from Apocalypsis Tarot. Because of the book, to me it looks like a book, and there's knowledge in books. So, and then the All Gifted, because this is a 79 card deck. It's supposed to be a rendition of Pandora. And then Prince of Swords, because I guess the Falcon is taking the shield and just, I like falcons, and the fact that it's just getting the heck out of Dodge. And just saying, heck with this, I'm out. I'm over this. And then with Wild Unknown, to me that's a representation of the deities that I work with, and the key being of knowledge and opening roads. And then with the Wildwood Tarot, the Journey. And then with the Sansa Muerte Tarot, the Moon, because she's looking at, it's more like the moon in reverse. Like the person in shadow is the actual person. And seeing what's reflected, because you are what you reflect. And then with the witch's tarot garden, or the witch's garden, the moon, because of the wolves, and she's in nature. Same deck, the Magician. And then with Druidcraft, Death. And then again with Druidcraft, of course, the High Priestess. I have some other decks there in my room, and I'm not going in my room to go and look for those. Those are the ones that came to mind. And number 10, what would your inner witch whisper to the collective if they could? Sometimes being silent and moving and blending in is going to accomplish more than being loud and proud. Blending in is going to get you further. And being aware of your surroundings, because there's always going to be somebody with a knife to put at your back. So anyway, that's my rendition of the hashtag. So peace, love, and light, guys. We'll see you in the next video. Bye.